The 25th of November marked the International Day for the Elimination of Violence Against Women, and the launch of 16 days of activism to raise awareness, promote advocacy, and creation of opportunities for discussion on challenges and solutions for violence against women and girls. President Moon of Korea shared his thoughts about the campaign, expressing his deep regret for the continuation of domestic violence experienced by women today, and hoped that people would recognize that the protection of the freedom and safety of others is to protect their own rights. This came at a time at which discourse for discrimination and violence against women was at its peak. Just 2 weeks prior, a female police officer was reported to have fled from the scene of a knife crime, leaving 2 women to fend for themselves against a male attacker. This incident caused much debate about the capabilities of women in the workforce, whether women should be able to occupy traditionally male-dominated roles such as police officers. Many chose to focus on the fact that it was a female officer, rather than just as an officer who had no work ethic and sense of duty, unrepresentative of others of her sex. Furthermore, the fact that this was primarily a crime against women from a male attacker was entirely glossed over, aside from acknowledging that the attacker must have attacked based on the fact that there were 3 women at the scene and no men. Korea's Gender Inequality Index rank at 10th in the world, crimes and violence against women remains at an all-high, cybercrime on the rise in particular. The use of hidden cameras to film or share explicit images of women without their consent led to mass demonstrations. But in 2020, according to an article in The Guardian, perpetrators were simply given a fine or a suspended sentence in 79% of cases. President Moon mentioned 3 different Korean policies that deal with violence and crime against women. The first of which is the Framework Act on the Prevention of Violence Against Women. This act was passed in 2018 and went into effect on December 25, 2019. It aims to clarify the responsibilities of the state and local governments with regard to the prevention of violence against women, and protecting and supporting victims by providing basic matters for comprehensively and systematically promoting policies to prevent violence against women. It also calls upon the Minister of Gender Equality and Family to formulate a master plan of policies to prevent violence against women and protect and support victims every 5 years. This was designed to cater to changes in crime and violence, such as the development of cybersex crimes. The second policy mentioned by President Moon was the anti-stalking law enacted on October 21st this year. It is the first Korean law specifically targeting stalking. Prior to its establishment, stalking was merely classified as a misdemeanor subject to less than 10,000 Korean won in fines. It decrees that repetitive acts of stalking can lead to a maximum of 5 years in prison, should weapons be involved in the crime, and enables police officers to issue restraining orders, banning potential suspects from coming within 100 meters of the victim and online contact. The third policy is the Act on the Prevention of Human Trafficking passed in April this year and to be enacted in 2023. It resolves the outdated definition of human trafficking as merely the buying and selling of peoples and includes forced sexual labor, forced labor, and organ trafficking under the umbrella. With women from overseas often being exploited for sexual labor in Korea, the police could only press charges for sexual harassment and not for human trafficking prior to the new policy. This meant that only people such as massage parlor owners could be punished and not the brokers. Feminism in Korea is continuing to gain more and more public attention, and the Korean government is responding through new policies and laws to bring about change. Thank you for watching from Korea. Subscribe to our channel for more updates on Korean policy and news from the Korean government. In English.